Welcome to the Canary Islands. We are here for the Gran Canaria Fronton King Pro, the last stop on the 2016 APB World Bodyboarding Tour. My name's Manny Vargas. El Fronton, considered one of the heaviest waves on the planet. The best bodyboarders are here to compete for the Fronton King and find out who will be the new world champion. Let's get into it.
El Fronton lies on the north coast of Gran Canaria, exposed to the full force of North Atlantic swells that peak each winter. The wave is formed on a barely submerged rock shelf and is only surfable from mid to high tide. It's one of the heaviest waves on the planet and the final stop of bodyboarding's world tour, which means it often plays a big role in deciding the world title. This year, 5 riders remained in contention for the world title when the APB Tour arrived at its final stop. Alex Uranga, Ian Campbell, Pierre-Louis Costas, Jeff Hubbard, and Amory Laverne, who now resides within view of El Fronton.
So yeah, Fronton is definitely one of the best waves for bodyboarding in the world. I mean, you like different types of waves on the bodyboard, but what Fronton can offer to us in terms of diversity, you know, like right, left, you can surf it from like pretty much 1 foot to 10, 12 foot, depends on the swell direction. It's such a point, you know, a rock point in the deep water, so that's make the wave really powerful because the swells just come from really deep water and just touch that edge, you know, like with a lot of power. So depending on the swell direction, that makes different types of waves, you know. So more right, more left, depends on the tides too, on the wind, you know. So it's kind of a fickle wave to have it like really pumping, but on the other side, it's just pretty much working every day, and every day you can have like some ramps there to boost some good movement on the bodyboard. It's really hard to feel comfortable in Fronton when it's more than 6 to 8 foot, you know, and no one feels comfortable there really when it's that size, you know. So it's all about be confident, chasing the good waves, you know, and have a clear goal that what you want to do and what do you think you have to do to make that hit, you know.
Round 1 started in relatively friendly Fronton conditions. Alex Uranga showed smooth riding to dominate his opening heat. He won his maiden APB Tour event in Brazil earlier this year and was an outside chance at the world title. He utilized both the lefts and rights, adding spectacular finishing moves above the lip to seal progress straight to round 3. Former world champ Uri Valadão of Brazil put a powerful display as Fronton reared its teeth. Dangerous in any conditions, he showed his class by muscling through some heavy drops and flying off the end section, including a floated air roll spin. El Fronton is only servable from mid to high tide. The nature of this wave necessitates small windows of action. Only 4 heats of round 1 ran on opening day, but the last was spectacular. Hawaii's Jacob Romero and Brahim Dosh from Morocco produced a final-worthy contest. Brahim controlled the heat from the start until Romero overtook him with the last 2 rides, one of which was punctuated by a backflip over dry reef. When competition resumed the next morning, the waves had dropped slightly. Conditions were clean and the swell was in the 4-foot range. Ratings leader and number 1 seed Ian Campbell from South Africa was pushed all the way to the siren. He avoided a nerve-wracking round 2 heat by 0.4 of a point. Heat 9 delivered the most exciting contest of the opening round when Australian Mitch Rawlings defeated world title favorite Pierre-Louis Costas. Rawlings led with 5 minutes remaining when Costas earned an excellent score for a completed aerial, only for Rawlings to regain the lead in the final 30 seconds. Heat 14 produced an epic battle between 2 of bodyboarding's brightest young prospects. Tristan Roberts was beaten by Tanner McDaniel in the final exchange. Dave Hubbard showed his class in winning his opening round heat. He started with an 8-5 and he never headed, finishing with both opponents comboed. A heavyweight battle closed out round 1. Jeff Hubbard and Ryan Hardy exchanged the lead throughout the heat, but local Igor Sanchez was unbowed by his big-name opponents. As riders continued to swap excellent scores and the lead, it was Sanchez who eventually won it in the last 2 minutes. The next day opened with another world title decider as Pierre-Louis Costas was forced to navigate a tricky round 2 heat against young local Borja Granados. The young Canarian saw a chance to make a name for himself as he pushed aggressively all heat. But in the end, he couldn't match Pierre's control and execution. Jeff Hubbard kept alive his world title dream when he beat Nestor Perez. He launched spectacular flips on his way to a comfortable victory. The next day saw some of the biggest waves of the event thus far as 6 to 8 foot bombs detonated on the infamous reef. The final heat of round 2 started at first light and featured 2 riders from the Basque Country.
Miguel Macieres dropping in on this nice size right-hander, slides under the pocket, getting deep barrel. Will he come out with a spin? And he does!
Alex Uranga then followed him right and emerged from behind the foam ball to take the lead. Miguel chased the lip with an attempted roll on a heavy section, but it wasn't enough to earn the victory. In round 3, Amr Laverne showed the importance of time spent learning the wave. He displayed poise in the most uncomfortable situations, putting himself in harm's way and finding the lines to escape. And then sealed victory with a corked flip. Mike Stewart showed that experience beats youthful enthusiasm as he progressed to the next round. Alex Uranga earned a narrow victory thanks in large part to a solid drop into a barrel that emerged from behind the foam ball. That afternoon, the event resumed in challenging conditions. 8-foot sets broke in knee-deep water, and the hill packed out with people coming to watch the battle between man and Mother Nature.
Mitch Rollins, you can hear the crowd behind us.
He dominated Matias Diaz. In Heat 8, Igor Sanchez extinguished Ian Campbell's world title dream.
Campbell, he knows what he has to do. Airdrop to this right, and this thing is opening up. Will it stay open for him? Can he come out? Oh, the door slammed shut.
And Igor was lauded by his countrymen and a gracious Campbell. Pierre-Louis Costas progressed one step closer to his second world title when he won the following heat.
And look at that, that's a big air forward.
A slightly smaller swell greeted competitors the next day with waves in the 4 to 6 foot range groomed with light offshore winds. Diego Cabrera feasted on the friendlier conditions in the day's first heat. He came out behind the spit to set up an early lead. He then had the crowd roaring when he launched an air roll spin on one of the heaviest sections of the wave.
Diego Cabrera going for a massive ARF. Huge maneuver there. He's feeling it.
He capped off an excellent morning's work with a deep barrel that earned him a 9.33. Alan Munoz overcame a slow start and one very ugly end section to earn himself a heat win. His opponent, Davis Blackwell, scooped into a clean barrel on the right that Alan Munoz matched. It left Blackwell chasing the score and forced him to push into a huge left, but he could only airdrop into the base where the lip detonated on top of him.
Oh, he's going in, he's going left on this bomb right here. Makes it to the bottom, but can't hold his rail.
Oh my goodness, that was heavy.
Airdropped into this massive.
Dave Hubbard launched a high-flying forward spin that he backed up with a long left-hand barrel to progress to the next round.
Okay, here's Red up and riding. This looks like a good way for Dave. I think he's coming out of this.
An all-Brazilian heat saw Udi Valadao make a great start against Dudu Bedler. Both riders posted decent numbers, but Valadao took control with a wave that offered a deep barrel on the first section and a second barrel on the end.
Let's see, he's carving down. He's going to try to look for another inside move here. Gets another little barrel. Good little double barrel ride.
In the closing stage, Fedra pushed hard for the score he needed, but only succeeded in wearing one of the ugliest wipeouts of the event.
Ready for a big set.
Oh,
boy.
no! The guillotine of El Fronton coming down hard.
Jeff Hubbard kept the pressure on the other world title contenders when he won his round 3 heat. He collected points on both lefts and rights.
Taking a look, and here he is dropping in on this right-hander, getting into the pocket, into the barrel, and comes out with a big, gigantic roll right there. Sort of solid barrel riding.
With the swell continuing to pour in, organizers kept the event rolling into round 4. Amr Laverne found a long left that he sealed with his small invert to beat Mike Stewart. Alex Udarnger earned an excellent score for his barrel to backflip combo in his heat against Jacob Romero,
Big backflip. Can he pull it around?
but he couldn't find a backup, and Romero's multiple mid-range scores were enough to earn him a heat win. The final day of competition kicked off with the remaining heats of round 4. Mitch Rollins beat Eder Luciano in the first heat. The Australian wildcard isn't a regular competitor on the World Tour, but showed he is every bit a world-class rider. Igor Sanchez became the first local into the finals when he beat Nicolas Chiala. Pierre-Louis Costes and Diego Cabrera then delivered one of the most outstanding heats of the event. Costes made his intentions clear as he recklessly hunted a huge right-hander that offered no escape. Cabrera launched a sky-high ARS that looked spectacular but didn't offer any continuation to the wave. 8-foot waves continued to drain off the rock shelf, and both guys pushed over the ledge to varying degrees of success. Cabrera needed a perfect ride in the final minutes to still the wind and potentially ruin Pierre's world title dreams when he paddled into a solid set.
The wave stays open. He needs to do a lip maneuver, and no, he got him a big barrel. I don't think he was going to get a 10-point ride. What's missing from that for a 10-point ride?
Oh, Manny, I think he needed to be slightly deeper.
Tanner McDaniel and Alan Munoz then contested one of the tightest heats.
Oh my, is he going to come out of that? Yes!
Alan Munoz.
Second, Alan Munoz on this right-hander. Can he pull it out? He pulls out of the barrel, a giant flip maneuver, and pulls it around.
The young Hawaiian had one last opportunity to steal the win, but fell short by less than a tenth of a point.
He needs to do a big move right there. It's a conservative roll. He'll ride it out and pull it off.
Dave Hubbard couldn't find the ramps to showcase his aerial skills in his heat against Uri Valadao. The Brazilian was solid in the tricky conditions and booked himself into the semifinals.
And on that wave right there, and pulls into the section. Clean pocket ride. Nice clean scoop under the barrel. And he comes out.
Jeff Hubbard became the last rider through to the finals. In increasingly wild conditions, Hub managed to negotiate some heavy drops.
Jeff Hubbard sliding into this giant gutter, finds the pocket.
With restriction caused by the type and conditions, El Fronton is structured differently to other world tours in that it will not hold man-on-man finals. After round 4, the competition moved to 4-man heat split into 2 semifinals and then 1 4-man grand final. In the first semifinal, Omri Laverne dominated the competition. The other 3 riders were left to chase the second qualification spot as Omri negotiated heavy drops and applied finishing moves.
There was red! Omri Laverne! He did drop in on the left.
Jacob Mel threw himself into some heavy situations but couldn't rack up the big points.
Is he going to come out with a spin? He does!
Mitch Rollins came close to booking a place in the final as he scooped into some heavy drops and found lines to exit.
Engaging that rail, getting as much speed as possible.
But it was local Igor Sanchez who joined Omri in the final.
Big spit out, but he's going to look for that end move, and there he goes with a nice roll, and the local guy, everyone going crazy up.
Beautiful bottom turn, scoops under the lip, gets barreled, and he will come out with a spit.
Gain from Omri, and
Look at this thing.
Fixed it, Manny. As we see, rider in green, Igor Sanchez just getting another nice barrel, and
Mitch Rollins on the right-hander, and he pulls under the barrel. He hits the brake, spreads open his legs, and he's able to get a nice clean pocket ride. He comes into the inside section. If he can come out of that, solid wave right there.
trying to see, here's Jacob Romero.
Oh my, airdrop. Here he is coming around the section, regains that control. Look at this, Mitch Rollins on his last effort, comes off the bottom, big extended roll right there.
In the second semi, Jeff Hubbard and Pierre-Louis Costes would each be capable of winning the world title if they progressed and the other one didn't. Pierre made the first move, Hub then followed him in the same direction.
Action, up and riding on this, coming off the bottom, doing a maneuver right there, kind of blinded right there from that whitewash. That was Jeff Hubbard.
Pierre found a left that offered a long wall and pulled into the barrel. He flew into the channel and with a healthy lead. Udi Valadao then joined the party with a serious drop on the right that extended into a clean barrel ride. He then moved into second place with some good wave selection.
Oh my, perfect landing on stalling on that drop.
But behind the curtain, and you see Uri here.
Up and riding, Udi Valadao, the Brazilian. That's what we're talking about right there. The medium-sized ones, you can get a little deeper.
Meanwhile, Pierre ensured his world title destiny remained in his hands when he bottom turned on a big left and threw a forward spin in the pocket and exited with a point to the judges' tower. When Valadao confirmed the second spot, it left Hubbard chasing big numbers but was unable to find the waves. His failure to progress to the final meant Pierre-Louis Costes became the 2016 world champion. But the celebrations were put on hold as the final was contested between Amory Laverne, Igor Sanchez, Udi Valadao, and Pierre-Louis Costes. Costes and Laverne stole the show in the final, finding exits on the biggest waves while the other two surfers struggled for any kind of scores.
Clean barrel, and he's going to come out trying to hit the brakes, trying to get a little bit more barrel time. Oh, check turn and then timing it perfect.
Both directions, but we're sticking with Amory
Oh
Laverne.
my goodness.
Nice.
Oh my.
Left. Beautiful roll out for Amory Laverne, defending champ.
Halfway through the heat, Costes and Laverne had the other two riders comboed, and the Fronton King would be decided between themselves. In the end, the prizes were shared as Costes claimed the 2016 world title, and Amory Laverne won the final to be crowned the 2016 Fronton King in front of family, friends, and adopted hometown.
This contest in Fronton, definitely it's one of the top range of the heaviest contests we ever seen in our sport, you know. So for me, just to have the opportunity to compete here, since I'm here living here now, it's going to be 5 years soon. In December now, it's going to be 5 years I'm living here. So yeah, to be able to compete in front of my home, you know, and pretty much in the window of my home, just a wave that I well knows now since I'm surfing there like a lot. It's such an amazing chance for me, you know, to compete there and for all the boys, but to be here with my family on the shore, you know, it's something really positive for me. It's also a lot of stress, you know, because people think, oh, is it at home? He knows the wave really well, and it's true that this is an advantage for me, but on the other side, this is a lot of pressure, you know, everybody's like, oh, Amory, you are the Fronton King, and oh, Amory, we trust in you, you can do it, you know, it's a lot of pressure too, you know, when you're coming surfing at this stage, you know, so the final was actually pretty amazing, you know, that moment we spent with Pierre during that final, it was a really private moment between him and me, you know, like, actually we were first and second, the two other guys were combo, you know, and we were just there, it was like 15 minutes remaining because it was a 40 minutes final, you know, that's one of the longest hits I've done in the APB, on the APB tour, you know. So so it was 10 minutes remaining and we were talking at the lineup, laughing and already celebrating, you know, his title for sure. And I was really surprised that he was already like celebrating my victory, you know. And I was like, Pierre, it's 10 minutes remaining, and he was like, no man, you are the new Fronton King, you know. I'm just so proud to be your friend, and we are here together, you know. And I was like, but Pierre, it's 5 minutes remaining. What are you talking about? No man, you are the Fronton King, and I'm just the world champ, you know. And we've just been talking there, laughing, and wow, he was really strong. Yeah, last night I was explaining that to my wife, and realizing like this moment we spent together there talking and laughing, and I was seeing Pierre's face, you know, scratching there. His tongue was pretty much cut in half, and I was like, man, you're a warrior, and yeah, it was such a good moment.
Yeah, to win my second world title here in Canaries at Fronton, where I won my first one as well. It's unbelievable. I mean, you know, Fronton is probably the best wave in the world for bodyboarding. Yeah, 2016 was one of the best year we had on the world tour for sure. We went through a bit of transition, trying to shape a perfect world tour, and we're pretty close to it. I mean, this year was unbelievable with starting with Pipeline and going to Tiahupo in Tahiti, then going to South America with Brazil, Arica, then going to Europe with Nazaré, Viana, Sintra, and finish at Fronton. I mean, it's been an excellent year. Competing at Fronton, it's a little bit like a war, you know. the wave is so powerful, and when it gets to a certain size, like we had this year, it's a different story. I mean, when it's like 4 to 6 foot, you know, you have cool ramps and, you know, it's a sick wave, it's like a skate park. But when it gets to a certain size, like we had for the final day, it's a different story. And I believe I had maybe a little advantage because for me, Canaries was like Hawaii. I came every year to Canaries since I'm 15 years old, and I did the same to go to Hawaii. So I surfed big Fronton before, and it's a very scary wave. And I had a couple big surfs before, and when you add this with the pressure of the world title, you know, it's a feeling it's hard to describe. You know, I felt like pretty like had that feeling with me that you know, nothing could stop me, but at the same time I knew that was so dangerous. I hit the reef a lot of time. You have to be ready to take a lot of risks, and you know, I think that's what I did, and that's what you know, all the competitors did, and we put on a great show. I mean, I think we should all be proud of ourselves doing all this because we're only doing it for the passion, you know. We want to show that our sport is an extreme sport, that it's up there with one of the most radical sports in the world, if not the most radical sport in the world, and you know, just glad to be a part of it.
Congratulations to Anne-Marie Laverne, your new Gran Canaria Fronton King. And also a big congratulations to your new 2016 APB World Champ, Pierre-Louis Costes. So that's it from the Canary Islands. We are out of here. I'll see you at the next event.